There were once two men who lived in the same town by the same water. One feared being called selfish. The other was called selfish almost every day. The first man woke before the sun, not because he loved the morning, but because someone had asked him to. "Can you help? Can you stay late? Can you lead this? Can you cover that?" He said yes, like it was a prayer. He said yes when he meant maybe. He said yes when he meant no. He said yes when he meant, "Please don't ask me again." He rearranged his life like furniture in someone else's house. When he was tired, he called it sacrifice. When he was broke, he called it loyalty. When he was empty, he called it service. He told himself, "At least I'm not selfish." The second man woke before the sun too, but he walked toward the docks. He sold fish. Every morning he stood in the same stall, sleeves rolled up, apron stained with salt and scales. He shouted prices. He laughed loudly. He shook hands. He told stories. He wrapped fillets in paper like gifts. People said, "You're obsessed." People said, "All you care about is your fish." People said, "You're selfish." He smiled and kept selling. He loved the rhythm of it, the exchange, the simplicity. Fish for money, money for freedom, freedom for peace. He never apologized for it. Years passed. The first man grew important, at least on paper. He held titles he didn't care about. He attended meetings he didn't believe in. He financed dreams that weren't his. He became exhausted trying to prove he was good. And one day, the people he had rearranged his life for rearranged theirs. Their priorities shifted. Their plans changed. Their promises dissolved like footprints in wet sand. When the tide went out, so did they. And the first man stood alone, holding obligations no one else remembered making. He had nothing of his own, not even time. He went broke quietly. Meanwhile, the second man still stood at the dock. He had fewer titles, but more mornings he loved. He had fewer meetings, but more dinners he enjoyed. He knew his numbers. He knew his customers. He knew himself. Storms came, markets shifted, prices rose and fell, but he never went broke. Because he always knew how to sell fish, and more importantly, he liked selling fish. One evening, the two men met by the water. The first man asked, "Don't you ever feel guilty, living like that, doing what you want every day?" The second man wiped his hands on his apron. "I don't do what I want every day," he said. "I do what I chose." "There's a difference." "I'm not selfish," he continued. "I'm selfish." He pointed to the sea. "If I don't fish, I don't eat. If I don't sell, I don't live. If I build someone else's boat and forget mine, I drown. When theirs sinks." The first man looked at the horizon. For the first time in years, he realized something. He hadn't avoided selfishness. He had avoided ownership. And ownership, that was the only thing that could have saved him. Moral of the story: it is not selfish to sell the fish you were meant to sell. It is not selfish to protect your mornings, your mission, your market. If you don't sell your fish, you end up financing someone else's feast, and when the nets tear, you'll wish you had learned how to fish for yourself. So be a little selfish. Sell your fish. You deserve to.